Hi! I was going to make a video about Google Plus and the recent tidal wave of change that swept over YouTube, effectively pinning us all to the ground screaming, "Love me!" whilst it forces changes upon us. But I thought that might be a little unfair on Google Plus, so I'm going to make a video about general internet change instead. Things on the internet change, and no matter how many times these websites change, shift things about and ignore their users, people just don't get used to it and panic when the change comes. So when Facebook has a new timeline, YouTube's subbox isn't working. Facebook's timeline moved to the right again. YouTube's subbox still isn't working. Twitter has images in this timeline. YouTube changed the channel layouts again. Twitter has a new logo. Facebook's timeline keeps moving. Something Vimeo. Subbox? What's Subbox? It's something about change in the internet seems to result in the same cycle every time. In short, panic. Everyone freaks out, goes nuts. What's happened? We're all gonna die! Sort of reaction. And there are stages to it, as initially it starts off small when it's rolled out to a select group of users. This small group of users acting like the warning beacons. They warn us of the oncoming change, the invasion that is forthcoming that will ruin our lives. But we ignore them. We ignore this invasion, much like we'd probably ignore someone who told us he'd seen an alien with a gun invading. Then next week, what happens? We're all dead because we ignored that idiot with the gun who was telling us about the change and aliens coming. Now we're all dead because we ignored the change. What happens with the internet? We ignore the people who are like, hey, that new comment system, I was given it last week. Hey, that new Facebook timeline, I was given it last week. Hey, that new Twitter timeline, I was given it last week. Do we pay attention? No, we just ignore them, brush them off and wait till it comes to us. And then we're like, oh God, what's happened? Which is of course stage 2, the change. Now the change itself usually comes at the most unexpected time, like the YouTube comment system the other day. I was in bed casually sleeping and wake up the next day to find everything has changed. Kind of leaves people dazed at this point. They wake up and they don't really know what's happened. It's like a bomb has struck the internet, like some sort of EMP has gone off and dazzled everyone. No one really knows what has happened until eventually they pull it back together. They get their shit in gear and they work out a plan. The best plan you've heard, the best plan you can think of relating to change. They send tweets and angry emails to the people who made the website. And then in response to this, the websites get their staff together and they just ignore it. As far as the website's concerned, they've been put in there for a reason. In the case of YouTube, they're trying to grow Google Plus. In the case of Facebook, they want to change your privacy settings so your mum can see your pictures. In the case of Twitter, well, they just want a new pretty bird in the corner that was flying to the sky. Seriously, what the hell? So what then? What happens when people realise that change is there for good? What do? They threaten mutiny. They tell Facebook they're gonna go and move to Twitter. They tell Twitter they're gonna go to Facebook. Hayden Hillier-Smith tells everyone he's going to Vimeo. Because, you know, apparently he can leave YouTube. I couldn't. So, this is my first video on the new comment system. Hopefully it works quite well. Drop a comment below and let me know what the scariest change you've ever witnessed online is, or what the best change is. How websites actually changed for good and enhanced your life, because that's pretty unheard of and it'll be good to hear for a change. Also drop a like on the video and subscribe if you haven't already, because you get to see me weekly, and what more could you want? I mean, actually there's a lot more things you can want, but you get to see me weekly, so bye.
What the hell is going on?
I was just flying and then suddenly there was this green thing and I fell, started falling and